I've got my fantasy lineup here. I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna go through my lineup, and you'll give yours, and we'll um talk about our power rankings as well, and then give our picks for the week. So, fantasy lineup for this week. The starters. I've got all new starters because I'm not trying to abuse the same ones to start off the year. So one of the first starters I've got is the hometown guy, Kyle Busch. He showed out really well at Atlanta, and he's always really strong at Las Vegas. You race a little bit harder at your home track, so I think he's going to be in contention. I think the Chevys are going to be pretty strong this year on mile and a halfs, and I think also this guy races a Toyota. I'm picking this is Toyotas and Chevys. Is pretty much my whole lineup. Just the
Mine too.
that. The next guy I've got strong run at Atlanta, strong run Daytona 500 as well. I've got Martin Truex Jr. in my lineup. The next guy, hopefully I don't jinx him, but I've got Kyle Larson in it. I mean, he was showing really strong moves at Atlanta. That was arguably the fastest car there, and I think Hendrick. I think it's going to come down to Hendrick and Joe Gibbs for Las Vegas in general. So there's a little foreshadowing for one of my picks. The next one I've got Joe Gibbs, Christopher Bell. Very fast on the mile and a half last year. Again, I think Toyotas are going to be very good this year on mile and a halfs. And then I've got basically Joe Gibbs. It's from the 2311 camp. I've got Tyler Reddick in. And then my garage, the only one that's not a Chevy or Toyota, I've got Joey Logano in my garage. Hopefully he doesn't cheat with his gloves, which he got $10,000. He got $10,000 fine for. I've never heard that. Then they showed the video. I'm like, oh no, that makes sense. You can't do that.
Yeah, they were saying that they think another team told on them. I'm like, how about the in-car camera that showed it?
Yeah, I mean, that's not the smartest way.
You can't tell me that was going to make any difference whatsoever, but hey, whatever. Rules are rules.
Yeah. Well, all right. So the lineups this week, the featured matchups this week, you've got Daniel Suarez versus Chase Briscoe. If you want to risk all of your money, you can go with Chase Briscoe because his odds are plus 120. I like the Chevys here. I like Trackhouse racing in general, and Suarez has the momentum. That goes a long way. I've got Suarez over Chase Briscoe in this matchup. You got Truex and Joey Logano. They're more or less even on the odds, but I do like Martin Truex Jr. over Joe Logano in this one. The next one, Ty Gibbs versus Bubba Wallace. This was a little bit tougher. They like, I guess they like Bubba a little bit more, but not by much. I like Ty Gibbs in this one over Bubba. And that might be the shocker that I had. And Ross Chastain versus Brad Keselowski. Trackhouse, I'm going to stick with them. I think they're both going to have very solid days. I got Ross Chastain in my matchups. Is anything defer in yours?
Yeah, mine's a little bit different.
All right, we can go over it this week. Look at that.
So in my lineup, it's all Chevys and Toyotas, just like you said. So this guy has been fast, just awful luck. I mean, worse luck than Larson. So I still have Denny Hamlin in my lineup. Sooner or later, he's bound to finish one of these. New this week, I've got Martin Truex Jr. in. He always runs good on the mile and a half, so it's hard to go against him. Also new this week, I did put in Kyle Larson.
Oh, God.
He seems like he either wins or runs second at Las Vegas.
Well, now he's going to crash.
Yeah, I'm sure. I have Kyle Busch getting in this week. It's kind of hard to go against the hometown kid. He's been fast, so I think really hungry for a win at his home track. New this week for me, and which is funny, I haven't put him in yet, but I do have William Byron in.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a rough time last week, but
everybody Hendrick did.
Hendrick's cars are just fast. And in my garage, I have Bubba Wallace in my garage.
All right, matchup.
So for the matchups, the one that's probably the shocker, Suarez and Chase Briscoe. I took Briscoe on this one.
All right.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta swing for the fence.
We both got to make up ground on Mom somehow. So.
Yes, seriously. So I got between Truex and Joey Logano. I did pick Martin Truex, Ty Gibbs, and Bubba. I picked Bubba on that one. And Ross Chastain and Keselowski, I did pick Chastain with Trackhouse.
So we got a little bit different. And they said the good bet's Kyle Larson. Obviously, good bet's Truex. Tells you to avoid Chase and avoid Chris Buescher. And the sleeper's Bubba. So, I mean, they're
So that means Jason Chris
everything
Buescher,
that's, yeah, Chase going to win, and then Chris Buescher second, while Bubba, Larson, and Truex finished last. But all right, going to our power rankings right before we give our picks for Las Vegas. I will give my power rankings first, and then you can give your pick for the race first. So this is a huge shakeup in power rankings for me. This is going to shock a lot of people, but this is based on 2 consecutive weeks of great finishes overall for these teams. It was hard to kick some people out, but you got to do what you got to do. This is, again, a fluid list. It's going to change week in and week out based on the how they do this week and the track coming up and how they've always performed historically there. So number 5 for power rankings, got the guy that finished third by 7/1000ths of a second at Atlanta. I got Kyle Busch moving into my top 5 power rankings. Number 4, the winner from Atlanta, I have Daniel Suarez cracking my top 5 in power rankings. And number 3, got Martin Truex Jr., 2 solid weeks of racing and going into a track where he's one of the favorites to win. Number 2, this is the shocker, but starting off 2 fifth-place finishes to start off the year. How do you avoid this? And if this was the old Cup standings, he would be the points leader right now. Bubba Wallace is my number 2. And my number 1, he goes back up to number 1 after sliding a little bit last week. Ryan Blaney, after just finishing about that short for a win at Atlanta, he gets my top spot going into Las Vegas. Go ahead with yours.
We're close. At number 5 moved in. I picked last week's winner, Daniel Suarez. He the first 2 races he's been fast. At number 4, and I'm still not a fan of this guy, but I'm still sticking with him. He's still one of the best drivers out there. I still got Denny Hamlin. The car was fast. He spun out, I don't know how many times, still made it back to the front. So he finally, bit the bullet and didn't finish. Same thing at number 3. I got Kyle Larson at number 3. The guy's been super fast all year. His luck just sucks ass. Sooner or later, it's bound to turn around. Like I said, he's very good at Las Vegas. That's why I moved him in here. At number 2, got the local guy, Kyle Busch at number 2. Another one's been fast all year and just missed it by that much. Daytona, he was quick. Didn't quite work out. And number 1, we're the same. It's Ryan Blaney's just been on fire since, the last, 8 races of last year and going through this year. That car has just been a rocket ship, and he's doing everything right.
And they can't surprise people either. It's the exact same team. Literally nobody is different on that team, and that doesn't happen in anything. So if you're able to have the same team back-to-back years, that's a recipe for success. That's how Jimmy Johnson won his championships. It was very consistent.